Awkward business podcast.
Live.
Hello and welcome. So our first episode, we are still not sure whether we're going to call it the Awkward Business Podcast.
Sina
I can
tears
feel
in her eyes.
Sina is very present. I like that. It's very good.
Oh my God.
Very good. Welcome.
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 So this is our first experimental episode where we're going to talk, rant, share something. We don't know yet what it will be exactly, but our vision is to really in the future share stories of people who are awkward in the best sense of the word, which means that they really went from maybe more of a fake business life to real business life, from something where they had to make a good impression to make money, to really go to. It's so awkward to have the sun so close. Hello.
Everything about it is already awkward.
It's good. So it's perfect. It's the perfect name, I guess. We're going to keep it. We'll see. But nevertheless, so it's going to be about sharing not classic success stories, but stories about real people who have had some, I don't know, good ideas.
Stories about
Help me.
Stories about life.
Stories about life. Thank you very much.
Very simple, honest, and good stories about life.
Yes.
Not the fake stuff, just the good stuff.
So we should maybe say who we are for people who don't know, for the 0.5 people who are listening to this first episode. We just created a company. Yay!
Kai is so excited about it.
Yes.
It's very nice.
It's called Younite Consulting. And we're three people who consult, believe it or not. Organizations in different spheres, communication, innovation, etc. And we see a lot of stuff that we thought like it might be useful to share. We'll see if it's useful. And so what should we talk about today?
So maybe we can talk about how the whole thing started.
Who are you talking to here?
I can't stop laughing. I don't know.
Yeah, that's okay.
Oh,
So
the tension.
Kai and I just tried to define the goals today of our podcast.
Yeah, that's what you're looking at there.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think that is very interesting. And
What's interesting about it? I wasn't here, so maybe you can share.
I think what we said is like we're kind of sick of like normal success stories. Like, hey, I was nothing and then I became great, and that's kind of boring.
That's my story, though.
Yeah.
it's also used my story.
Yeah, it's also my story actually. No, but that just this classic like you can do it stuff. I mean, there's a lot of podcasts, a lot of YouTube videos, etc., who are covering that, and we don't really know how to differentiate. But I just like people who are more, I don't know,
More what?
more themselves than they were before, or more relaxed, more happy, more. And at the same time, I always find it fascinating when they also make money and like survive through that. So maybe we could,
Or because of that.
great catch. Yes, or because of that. Very true. Yeah, maybe we can. Is there something that you guys are interested in talking about? Some insights, some personal insights you guys had in the last week or something? I have one. If you don't, of course I have one. Or do you have one?
Sure.
Sina, you want to start?
No, sure. You start.
Okay.
If you want to. I need to think about it.
I think what I really saw is like it's really boring to do business alone. That's something that I saw. Like when we had this idea a month ago of like, because Sina and I had a company together, you, Daniel, had your own company. It was like, it would make sense to have our own company. And then I was actually kind of in a rut. I felt like, I mean, you're my best friend, or at least one of my best friends. I will not make you angry, Sebastian. You're also my best friend.
Sebastian, I like you too.
But nevertheless, it feels like we were creating, but we were like kind of stuck on a level, on a certain level. And when we discussed about actually getting our companies together, first of all, what happened was that I was scared. I was like, oh fuck, my ego got spiked. Like, but what if I don't get enough? Like all this stuff came up. That was the first level. But actually what was much more relevant was the excitement of doing something together. I also thought, like, when we walked up the stairs just before, it's so cool to work with people. Oh, somebody's hungry, or it's the Indian food.
It's
maybe.
Indian food.
It's Indian food.
Making its way through.
Yeah, making its way through.
Just saying hi.
But it's nice to work with people who you enjoy spending time with. It sounds so basic, but it's so important. And I think being in a position where we have, like, where we're self-employed, quote unquote, whatever the hell that means, but it gives you the chance to really choose people you want to work together with. And it also, what I found now that we are the three of us, I feel like there is an increase in momentum somehow. Mm-hmm. Like, I feel like, oh, there is so much synergy. And I think that's the biggest mistake I did, or I'm still making or doing. I don't know. I never know the whatever. But the biggest mistake I'm creating
the process of
is for
of
sure
the problem.
Sina?
Sina? Don't mock the Germans, no?
Don't mock the Germans.
But yeah, it's just nice. It's nice to work with a team that you're excited working with. And also what actually pisses me off about you, Daniel, is like, I'm scared that you're better than I am in some stuff. And this is really good. It's really good to have people on board. Also, Sina, I've never seen a person who's like who can build a more sustainable connection than Sina. Like everybody likes you, and and I can build connections, but it's like you guys are better in certain areas, I subjectively feel, than I am. And that is scary, but it's very nice. It's like very exciting to me as well.
When did the change start for you?
Like, what change?
Of having a company together? Or when was the biggest peak of change?
I think I can tell you when I was scary. The scariest moments is when we talk about money. Like when you say, for example, you have, oh, well, I have this contract, and I'm like, oh, is it going to bill it over hour? So like still these old fears of still division. That is something like I have big problem, like still big fears around the topic of money. Uh-huh. For sure. So that's peak moments. But the peak moment actually, or the most beautiful moment, is when I talk about it. So when I tell you, or when I ask you, like, and then it's like almost like my alarm goes down. It's like, you're an idiot, Kai. Like what are you even thinking? So these like small spikes of distrust that I have that then get calmed down instantly. But I still have some fears, like also not only with you, also with Sina, but it seems to get more and more like just, also this is just in my head. Also this is just, but it's really useful to talk about it. I feel to express it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think for me now, the biggest change is I feel much more motivated, and that happened in the last 2-3 weeks, I think.
What was your moment then?
It was this week, actually. Very, very interesting.
Yeah.
So Sunday was really weird for me last Sunday, because I knew that something else is gonna start, and that was really weird. And then this week, yesterday was sort of a peak moment for me, because I did that weird stuff with like the homepage stuff, and I hate doing that stuff, like DNS records and it's super IT techie stuff. And I can't do it, and I should be able to do it, but I'm always quite bad at it. And then I went home. I did it. I went home, and I really felt like drinking a beer and having like a little bit of a success moment. And then my wife asked me like, why do you feel that way? And I was like,
I now did something for the team, or it a little bit felt like I'm doing something
Yeah.
for the team and not just doing it for myself.
Yeah.
And it was so different
Yeah.
than it used to be. That
Yeah.
was so cool. So it's most of the time it's
Yeah.
one of these moments where I really realized that things changed.
Yeah.
I had several moments of like in the beginning when we had our planning weekends and brainstorming of what it could look like, got more and more excited and felt like I get some drive again into like putting this into it. Felt very right. It still does. And then it got more and more serious, and how I told it to my friends basically is how I still feel like it's gonna get better and bigger and I'm gonna shit my pants, but it's gonna be awesome. In a way, this is what I feel like, because in the last week when we signed the papers and it's so official, I had this feeling and still have it. Also yesterday I was thinking about it. I trust you guys, but do I trust myself enough to actually be like, oh, can I contribute enough to it? Not just enough, but I want to do awesome, you know? And something inside of me thinks, hey, we're in this together and it's going to be awesome anyways. And I'm also good in a way. On the other hand, I feel like it's the next level of, it's like a new level of, like, this is the level I got comfortable on. And now that's the next thing. So I'm still scared at this point. And the only way of getting out of this is just doing stuff now.
Can you describe the next level? What is it?
I don't know, it's just more better. I don't know how to describe. Because we're doing this together now, it feels like it's something bigger than it was before.
For sure. And
also the impact we're going to have, I feel like is a lot bigger than what we in our company had before. Yes, big impacts for sure. Something inside of me feels like it's even more.
Yeah.
I can't really describe it. It's just a feeling. And I had the past days, I was a little bit stuck in my head, and like the fear of not giving enough held me back from actually being relaxed and doing my good stuff that I usually do, or even better. But now I feel like I just need to do and try it out. And I know it's going to be good. So still loving it and shitting my pants, but still loving it.
But don't you feel like on a certain level it also feels more relaxed, that you don't, you know, you're not alone anymore? That's what it feels for me. Like to be now 3 people, like it was already nice to be together, but now the 3 of us, it feels like, for me, it feels more comfortable. In a sense that you feel supported. And I agree with you fully, it's like it enables you to think bigger, and that's really cool. To like automatically have that feeling of like, we could do a bigger contract, we could do bigger stuff and more ideas, just especially also between the 3 of us, but also between the 2 ex companies. Now there is much more, because it's now one. It's interesting. It's actually just in your head, but now we're much more using the synergies that we already had.
Also the synergies around us.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I really don't.
What do you mean by that? Sorry.
I mean, today Peter came, and
then,
you know, it's like,
that's true.
I worked more with him, and you know, there are just more synergies flying around.
Yeah, that's true.
I see that too.
And I think that's very interesting.
Yeah.
Do you trust the feeling already?
Which feeling?
You both said like, you know, there is like more security around and I can rely on the others. I know that in my head that yes, it's true.
Yeah.
It's around, but I don't trust the feeling yet.
Yeah.
It's still like, you know, a little bit of that hustling feeling is still around. And like the settling down of being in a partnership, in a company.
Yeah.
And all of us are as responsible as the other ones. I don't really trust that feeling yet. I think that it takes some days to sink in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have moments like then I fully fall back into that feeling of like, oh, it's fine. and then I have like some thoughts. So it's like it's a mixed bag. I feel a little bit. I don't know. I wanted to say something before, but now I forgot my thread. I thought it would be really interesting for the audience. Hello, audience, by the way. How are you doing?
Hello, awkward people.
Yeah. We need a name for the tribe, the awkwardies or something. No, that doesn't sound good.
Awkwardies.
The accordions.
The accordions.
The accordions. Yeah, if you're listening to this, that would be fascinating to hear like some of your thoughts and things. We literally have no clue where we're gonna upload it exactly. It's certainly gonna be on the big podcasting platforms, but just text for now. Just send us messages at Daniel Marty at Sina Mail 90, or what are you on Instagram? Very good. And at Kai Kristen. You don't even know your Instagram.
Sina._ML.
Sina._ML.
Needs to be complicated.
You'll find our Instagram account.
I think if you type in
channels.
my name, Sina, you find it.
Perfect, because we are interested in hearing from you, and Sina is already excited about sharing those questions. Yes. From
like
those
questions.
0.5 listeners that we have.
0.5 million, maybe.
Yeah. So we're in 18 minutes. I thought we would be talking longer.
That's good, though. Why not?
That's all right. Do we have something else?
I think we can. Let's do another one.
Yeah, another topic for sure. You mean another episode or another topic? I think we should do another topic. I always like longer than just 18 minutes. When I see an episode is just 18 minutes, I think like, ugh, I don't want to listen to it. It doesn't go deep.
I mean, if we look at our first episode now, and either we can let that in or we don't. We will
for
see.
sure we will, because I don't know how to edit it out.
I think having some focus would be nice, no?
Yeah, for sure.
Like a little bit of a topic or a little bit of a red
thread. Yeah, but I mean, we...
You do like this. Where's the thread? Where is it?
I think this founding topic, I really find it interesting, or just a concept around this, because on the bigger level is like you mostly already know what you should do, but then your ego comes in the way. Like we had this also with our founding story at the beginning. We talked several times already, I think, before about getting our companies together and like being one instead of two entities, but being one. But there is always, and I think maybe you can resonate to that out there, listeners, that you always have this fight, ego versus heart. And that you always think like, oh, is it... you always have like... I always have an initial idea of something that I get excited about. And then my head comes in the way and tries to like with a sword just tries to cut it and says like, well, but what about this? And what about this? And no, it's not possible. And what if Daniel does this? Or what if Sina is reacting like this? And then this initial it sounds a little bit cheesy, but this initial heartfelt idea then gets almost destroyed a lot of times. Like for me, I think still the biggest part of things, and it's something I'm working on, is like I have an idea. Oh, I would love to, I don't know, let's say something. I would love to dance now, right? But I think like, oh no, but it's stupid because there's people around, and like, what would people think if I would just dance? I don't have this urge so much, but just as an example, and I have this a lot still in my life, and I would love to have less of that. Can you guys resonate with that?
So more of doing something from your heart.
Yeah.
Without questioning it.
Yeah, and that's, for example, that's why I'm very fascinated. I love to work with you guys, and I also think we have somebody in our network, Aurelia. We might interview her at a later stage, who's already doing that on, at least from the outside. You never know exactly how it is on the inside, but it seems like she's really going off that gut feeling and just doing. And I also know that like a lot of people are like, oh, what is she doing? Why is she like, oh, is that hippie? Like, but nevertheless, there is a lot of curiosity around it. I don't know how it is from your side, but I'm like always, I'm a little bit making fun of it, you know, but it's more my ego that's like, look, she's dancing. But nevertheless, I'm on another level. I'm also thinking, oh, that's really cool. That's really cool that she can give hugs like that, or that she's so free and just does workshops almost all the time around topics that I feel we cannot bring in companies, you know, because it's too touchy-feely, it's too personal, it's too this and that. And I would love to, for me personally, but I hope you have a similar urge to move into stuff that, and we talked about it before with you, Daniel, as well, into a stuff where we actually feel it's more and more of value, not only for the company, but also on a personal level for people. And then vice versa. If it has an impact on the personal level, obviously it has a great impact on the company as well. But I think it takes a lot of courage. I look up to, and we are consultants, and I look up to consultants. And for example, with you, Daniel, I look up to that you sometimes just call out the bullshit that's in the room, even if it's with a client that pays you. And I think they are paying us for being honest. But sometimes, not always, I think most of the time they are paying us for being honest. And then really having the guts to say, okay, I'm willing to lose this contract.
Which you don't.
Which you mostly don't, which
Exactly.
is true, which is your head against telling you stories.
It's the paradox.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe that would be a question. Like, where do you take that courage from? Or is it just completely natural for you? Or do you have to go over something to go to that level of no BS talk oftentimes that you have with clients?
I think the closer I can be the more I can be myself, the better it is for me. I feel most comfortable being myself.
Yeah.
And if I hear or see a lot of bullshit, and you call it bullshit, it's usually either a very funny moment. I think you can go a little bit on that funny road sometimes.
Okay. So making fun of the situation, or how do you mean?
A little bit fun of the situation, or just call it bullshit and then just laugh about it.
Yeah.
And doing that, it usually makes the whole situation like very good. Very simple, very good. People laugh with you, then it just dissolves like all the tension in the room. And I think these are the good moments.
So you're calling it out, kind of?
Yeah, but I mean, calling it out always sounds like very like strict, and you have to call it out. It sounds very hard.
Yeah.
But if you just take like the situation and you laugh about the situation by just saying what actually happens at the moment.
Yeah.
I think you dissolve the whole situation.
Yeah, it's true.
And sometimes it's also nice just to be honest. And sometimes I also think it's never wrong to do the right thing.
But how do you know what the right thing is?
Just the gut feeling.
Yeah.
If you think it's right, then it's usually right.
At least you think it is. Yeah, it's true.
And if it feels wrong, it probably also feels wrong for all the others.
Yeah.
I think that is
Oftentimes,
it's that really the case. If you think like this is not okay, this is not good, then at least there must be some tension around it with other people.
Yeah, for sure.
And tension usually feels very heavy, at least for me. But it also feels heavy then to say something, speak up. And when I do it, I don't always do it, but when I do and actually speak out what feels right, that feels so good. After. And so freeing in a way. So,
where can you feel
I
it?
said it.
Can you feel it in the body, or is it just like a mental thing?
In my stomach.
Same here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It feels very heavy, like, I should say it, I don't say it, yes I do, no I don't, And then when I say it, I'm like, oh, that's good. I did that. Oh, that's cool. And somehow, like, if it releases the tension in the whole room, it feels so good. Yeah. But then and then after my head comes in again and says like, oh, maybe you shouldn't have said something. But also it felt so right. And it was good. And then somehow, oh, maybe, was it right? Was it not? No, you're being judged. No, you're not. I don't know. Should I care? Should I even care? I don't know. So, and then I relax into it again. But my head sometimes comes back. Like I speak up, head comes back, questions everything, and then my head tells itself to shut up. And then it's good. Then I can enjoy it.
And with me, the reflection takes place like 2 hours later.
I see.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so comfortable.
Yeah.
That's so good.
So you enjoy the good feeling?
No, it's really, I speak up, then I don't feel anything. And then I drive home, for example, in the train or in the car, and just like, was I really allowed to say that? Is that really my role?
That's what I meant.
Yeah. But it always takes like 2
Really?
hours in between.
That's awesome.
I can't feel anything. I usually can't really feel that much anyway. So, but it's
but that's really, why we took you on board. It's really good. We're hypersensitive, so it's very good.
I'm not hypersensitive, really not.
No, but it's good. It's really.
For me, it comes so fast. Right after saying it, I'm like, whoa, in my head, so loud, and then once it says, "Shut up," it's okay. It happened anyways, and then I'm like, just relax. Okay, and then I go home. And just relax for 2 hours. I don't know.
Oh, really?
I don't know. Like, I don't know if I relax, but I do something else then. Because that's kind of, that happened. Now let's move on, kind of.
How is it for you?
I think my mind was in, like, when until I would say 20, like, let's say 25, 26, 27, somewhere there, I was very focused on what's happening in the past. So this happened to me. I said something and then I was like overthinking about the past. I still have that in some situations. For example, if I drink a little bit too much and say something stupid, then I have it. Like, I'm like, oh, you idiot or something. But most of the time, I don't have that anymore. I'm much more, now my mind is addicted to the future. Somehow, so I'm really thinking forward. So I don't have these kind of like not so much reflecting. There is not a lot of stuff that is embarrassing for me anymore. I feel like I have not really a lot of things where I'm really truly or like shit, I shouldn't have said that or something like that. That really decreases. There is stuff for sure, but it has become much less somehow, and that's really nice. But again, like in the past I was past focused, now I'm future focused, which is the exactly same bullshit game. It's like the beauty is when you're it feels better, it feels for sure better than thinking about the past, but my goal will be to really be present and just not think about the past and the future. So it's a very philosophical answer to your very simple question.
But many times I feel like in the here and now, you're one of the most honest people I know. Or the ones who speak, even though there's tension, say it. Sometimes I feel like. Yeah. Because I remember one time I had an issue with some client or something. I don't remember. And I was texting you via voice message, saying like, oh, Kai, how do you... It's already 2 years ago, or 1 year. How do you always find it so simple, that's what I said, to just call out the bullshit and speak your truth towards someone
I remember
else.
That, yeah.
And then you said back, oh, it's not that simple.
No, yeah.
And then I remembered, so he's a human too.
I
guess everybody has that.
Yeah.
So that's when I caught myself just projecting this on you, because back in the days I couldn't do it myself in a way. Like I was so hesitant of doing it that I felt like, I need to ask someone who did it 2 two times more often than I did.
Yeah.
And just like project it on you, like, oh, you always find it so simple. I remember this.
No, but it's true.
Not
It's
so
like
simple.
it's hard, but it is really hard. Like it takes for me every time. I guess that's my imagination now. It gets much easier for me every time I do it. Not much easier, but
For
like
me too.
0.01%.
Yeah.
Like when I'm 80, I will be just the most honest person on this planet. Hopefully, probably not. But nevertheless, it gets less. But it's every time it's a little bit difficult. But I always say also at the workshops, this is exactly this is when you go into leadership mode.
Yeah.
When you're the most honest person in the room, when you talk about, I call it at the workshops, the pink elephant in the room, the one that everybody sees, the one that destroys everything, but nobody talks about it, even though it's so obvious. And I think if you address that, it's super useful. And I think coming full circle to what we talked about before, if you're in a team or you're forming a new team like we do now, I think it's super useful if there are pink elephants, or at least baby pink elephants coming up for us, that we talk about it. I think that is really important. Even if you think, if your mind tells you, that's idiotic, that's childish, come on, you're over this, blah blah blah. No, you're not. Otherwise, you wouldn't have this thought. So it's a really good practice, to be honest. I can suggest to if you listen out there, I really liked even though I find it very extreme, but nevertheless, it's fascinating to read up on Radical Honesty by Brad Blanton. It's a really, really interesting philosophy or way of interacting with people, to really just talk about what's actually happening for you instead of the thing that you think people like. There's another book, The Disease to Please. And I think I have that a lot in me, that I want to please everybody. And through that, I'm still lying quite a bit. I have to be honest here. And I still oh no, I don't want to hurt people's feelings. And then in the long run, you actually hurt them more, which is the irony of the whole thing. But that's a whole...
I don't know. I feel like honesty, yes, all the way. And also, but then there's also Taktgefühl. I don't know the English word for it.
Respect.
Not whenever I want to be honest, I'm just going to say it no matter what happens. So I feel like that's, do whatever you want to do, yes. And also I feel like, come on, it was not the right moment to say it. In a way, sometimes I feel like...
I usually think it's always right to speak the truth as long as you care.
Yeah.
So if I really care about what I'm saying and it's I'm also caring about the other person, then it sort of works.
And then you can also pick the right moment. So
I mean, there's not always the right moment.
There's not always the right moment.
But if somebody's already on the ground,
then you don't.
And then I see people just pushing.
But then also part of the honesty will be saying, I feel like you're already on the ground. I feel now bad about saying you this. And nevertheless, I will tell you, that's all part of that, right? It's not just saying, oh, you're...
if you care...
Yeah, exactly.
I agree on this one. If it's just because you want to say it now, but it's not value given for any other person at all, in that moment, I feel like...
But how do you know?
No, you don't.
Exactly. So that's what...
You never know what others hear as well.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm not black and white on this.
Yeah, it's true. I'm less and less as well. Yeah.
I found out speaking the truth can also come from a very egoistic way. And that is... And it's good for me sometimes as well. So if I speak the truth, then I always thought but let's do it tomorrow, or it will go away, or stuff like that. But if you just pick up your phone, you're just gonna call the other person, it just resolves everything on your end. And that is sometimes such a nice feeling, just to call the other person up, no one died, it's not that bad, but I just experienced this and that with you. It made me feel very, bad, and let's try to avoid that in the future together. And if it's something which come like all the time, then I help you that this won't happen anymore. And if it's like a one-timer, you just call it out and say like, that wasn't okay. Let's do it differently in the future. And then it's gone. And it's gone for me, and usually it's also gone for the other person, because the other person also sort of knows that something bad happened. And both can feel it, and it's way simpler like that. And it just really resolves the tension. And that's what it's all about at the end.
I agree on this one. Feels right.
It feels right.
Yeah. It does.
Awkward business.
It feels right.
Feels
Let's
right.
see. We're at 37 minutes.
37.
Do you feel like
I feel like I want to do this in every podcast now.
what singing
37.
37 minutes or singing the minute?
No, just the number.
And what does it mean, 37?
It's just
We have another 3 minutes to go, or
just,
what does it mean?
just an awkward number. It
You
means
can also sing it with 37 seconds, at the beginning.
37.
Sure, yeah, I could do that. But I don't want to.
You don't want to sing.
Well, I only want to sing 37.
Good.
Okay.
Good.
Or 42. 42?
42. 40.
I don't know. Sometimes I have weird thoughts.
No,
But
you
they
don't
are
say that.
so entertaining though. I live on my own now, so now sometimes I'm just sitting there and laughing.
So how is that
Because
for
my
you
head
guys?
is so entertaining.
Living alone?
Yeah, how is it?
It's strange. I mean, I should be an adult, but in this area, I haven't been, for the people out there, I have been always living in shared flats, and I'm 34 and I run a company. So I should at least have lived one time alone, which I didn't. And now I did that step. Sina also did that step.
Yeah.
Living like normal adult people. No weirdness anymore there. But nevertheless.
So for the podcast people, if I now look at those faces, I can see quite a lot of regret.
Actually, I'm quite liking it.
Yeah.
Really?
I do weird stuff. Like I say sometimes, bye living room. I know. I see your faces.
We always do that.
I also speak to furniture. Nah, I don't
You
really
speak to furniture.
I don't really speak to that. I just say I'm just. But I did it before in the old apartment as well. I'm just like,
I never heard that.
bye living room, bye apartment, kind of like this.
Yeah.
I'm not lonely.
No, definitely not. Hello, living room.
No.
Hello, toilet seat.
Actually, so far, I haven't spent too much time in the apartment. Also, it's not sorted out yet. It's still a big mess in the apartment. But on last Sunday, I was sitting on the couch. I could see the mountain in the out of the window, just having a coffee, calling a friend, and I was like, oh, it's actually quite nice. And that was the first time I felt like, oh, I'm in a new place now.
Yeah.
First time I kind of realized. And I was liking it.
You still like it?
Yeah.
Good.
So far, so good. How about you?
I'm jumping between feeling lonely. So, I don't have an evening ritual. That's my big, I feel like I need something. I might need to buy a PlayStation 5 when it comes out or something. Or no, I don't know. But something where even when I'm home, or a puzzle, I don't know, or reading just a book, I'm so used to have social exchange until I go to sleep, because in the shared flat you mostly had that. Now it needs some time for me to but I'm starting to enjoy it. Now our apartment comes together. I love that I have exactly the food I want. That is awesome. That I have and I love to optimize. So I have my frozen vegetables, my frozen everything, but healthy, if you want to call it. There's people who say it's not healthy if you freeze the stuff, but it's nice to have that in place. But I'm still in transition phase. I'm still sometimes sitting okay, do you want to watch YouTube now, or you want to do something that actually makes sense?
Well, you could ask your chair or your couch about
Exactly, yeah. I haven't just like casual conversation with my furniture. Wasn't part of the plan yet, but who knows?
It might change tonight.
Yeah.
Who knows? Who knows?
Well, this
I
is the best
drink
thing.
a lot less alcohol because I'm more of a social drinker.
Yeah.
I do have beer and wine still from the party. But
Sounds like we're all alcoholics.
No,
I
no,
already
no. But since it's still so messy in my place, I haven't really had any friends over yet. So I didn't drink. So yeah, that's kind of
good.
that's healthy.
Yeah.
That's quite healthy.
Yeah.
You
But
also don't
wait.
drink, don't you?
I never drink.
Yeah, for sure.
You drink the most of all of us.
Oh, no.
No, for sure not. For sure not. Maybe.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
Right now, for sure you are. I'm on sober October.
You're on sober October.
And
Yeah.
for me, it takes 2 days to recover, so I don't really
Yeah.
drink
The
so
older
much
you get, the
anymore.
worse it
Yeah.
gets.
Oh,
Fuck. Yeah.
I didn't
true.
drink this week yet.
that's
I mean Thursday.
Ugh.
So
Wow.
it's quite good.
The weekend is here to come.
Yeah, that's
Bum,
good.
bum, bum.
No, I like the time without. Right now, I'm really feeling it without alcohol. It's really nice to do just a lot of sports and a lot of movement. But I have in the evening, it's sad. But sometimes in the evening, I think like, now a beer. But it's such a short. It's like probably like somebody who smokes is like a cigarette. Now a cigarette. And then if you just wait for a minute, it goes away, and I have a chocolate cake.
Oh,
As next year.
That's much
Really?
better.
Much
you know?
better. Now I just get fat on sugar. Beautiful. Yeah, no, but it's for sure it's good.
Let's
Don't
see.
drink out there. It's not cool. I don't know
It's
why
the
I
awkward
wanted to sound
business
like hard.
podcast. So
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Yeah, let's end it on this positive high note. Is that okay for you? We're almost
Yeah.
in 45 minutes. It's good.
Perfect.
I know.
Perfect. I think we got now into a flow towards the end. I like it. But bye, people. We might
be back.
We might be back. I hope so. If the uploading process works, send us just love letters. Basically, that would be nice.
Or just questions that you would like to have answered by us.
Yes, because we're experts.
About our life.
Or just be honest.
About
Just
your
be
life.
honest. Yeah.
That's also
Just
quite nice.
comment.
Yeah,
Just comment
okay.
on whatever. Oh yeah, this is going to be on YouTube, so follow us on YouTube. And bye. Love you. Bye.
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 Life.